Hey, Dr. Karen Can here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And before we get to the meat and potatoes of today's topic for the Spiritual Medicine Digest, I just want to remind you that in case you haven't listened to the radio show that I did with Peter Shank on Monday about Aquaware 5.0, you should definitely check it out. The website's karencan.com/AQ5. So Aquaware, if you don't already know, is a very high-end self-empowerment tool that you use on your PC that you can actually create intentions, and those very, very powerful frequencies can be embedded and supercharged into any sort of water molecule that you set your mind to. And this is much, millions of times more powerful than, say, putting a label that says joy, on the outside of your water glass. Not that that's wrong, but this is much more powerful. So I want to read off for you a list of some of the new intentions that I asked Peter to include into the new Aquaware 5.0. I think you're going to be really excited when you hear this. Now, this is a little bit of a long list, but just bear with me here. So I'm going to go through this list. So Aquaware 5.0 helps with itching. I asked for that for myself because I was having itching at the time that he asked for feedback on the program. Brain balance. Those of you that know me well know that brain balance is ultimately extremely important. Right and left sides of the brain, functioning autonomic nervous system in balance in order for you to heal anything. So I asked him to put the healing frequencies required for brain balance. So you can get brain balance just by drinking some Aquaware charged water. Check this out. Heart rate variability support to help your heart rate variability. Hormonal resistance. Most people don't know about this, but I deal with it day in and day out. Insulin resistance. Resistance to thyroid hormones, adrenal hormones. So there's a lot of different hormone resistances out there. Most people with autoimmunity also have them. And guess what? I asked him to address autoimmunity. So that is on there as well. Healing for any sort of autoimmune issues. All the meridians, all the major acupuncture meridians balanced. If you have problems with motivation, self-sabotage, and resistance to change, I noticed that in some of my patients. So we've included healing for those things. Worthiness, another big one. Adrenal fatigue, he's added that for this year. Diabetes. Electrosensitivity. So if you have EMF sensitivity, there is a preset to heal and support healing of that. Food intolerance, again, another one of the things I asked him to address. Fungal infections, mold infections, and mold and mildew issues. Microbiome balance. Okay, Peter may not know what microbiome is, but I shared with him what I wanted, and he put it in there. So microbiome, all those little guys, those 7 pounds of organisms living in your belly area that helps you digest your food and get your nutrients and all sorts of, symbiotic relationship issues. If they're not happy, you're not happy. If they're not healthy, you're not healthy. So how awesome to be able to help these little guys. So neuropathy, multiple chemical sensitivities, self-defense, so be better and faster and quicker and have a smarter mindset. And of course, that was personal. I do Kung Fu, so I wanted that one in there. Caffeine detox, coffee addiction, chemtrails, healing from chemtrails, GMO toxicity, sugar addiction, sugar detox. And you can have even a total flush. You can do the total flush that helps with all sorts of chemical material things that you no longer need that are toxic for your body, to flush those all out. Anti-aging, creating force fields. The one I asked for specifically that's new is a force field for insect bites and sting protection. Aura cleansing. For those of you that have taken my energy, body, detox, and rejuvenation class, you'll recognize some of these terms. Also, cleanse and reintegrate your soul fragments. I asked for that. Improving your connection to source. Encountering a friendly universe that only positive entities be brought to you, not the negative ones. Becoming impervious to evil and attacks. Protecting your auric shield or getting it to be 100% intact. Removing curses, energy weapons such as what they call saboteurs. portals where entities can come through, removing implants, removing non-beneficial vows and contracts from other lives, improving and supporting your fascial system, which again is new. All parts of your autonomic nervous system, both your sympathetic, parasympathetic, and enteric, your gut nervous system. Emulate the positive effects of earthing. Emulate the positive effects of sun gazing. Emulate the positive effects of having a Himalayan crystal salt bath, which cleans your aura. A magnesium chloride bath. Acupuncture, reconnective healing, zero balancing, cranial sacral therapy. So, I mean, there's amazing, there's over 1,000 or so intents in Aquaware, many of which on this page I have asked for. So, as you know, I like to be on the cutting edge. So check out KarenCan.com/AQ5. We will actually give you the link there to the intention list. You can check out all the different things it can do. Remember, Aquaware 5 can help you through custom intentions as well. So I just created a custom intention called the Healing Power of Jesus. Yes, I did. Why not, right? So I muscle test all these things. If it's not beneficial or it's not for your highest and greatest good for that to happen, it's not going to work for you. But for most and many things, it will more than likely benefit you in many different ways. So check out that intention list. The price is up there, but I got to tell you, it's worth every penny of it, especially if you're, unless you're doing energy healing on yourself and others every single day and you're, up cutting edge, know what that person needs. This is a wonderful tool to help heal and support your journey. So I highly recommend it. And if you have any, issues with understanding, how to get the 7-day free trial on your PC, just contact me, click the contact button on my website. We'll make sure we get you hooked up and listen to the radio show. Okay, so today's topic, I want to talk about spirituality. So are you being spiritual or are you being phony spiritual? So what do I mean by that? Okay. So I had this wonderful show with one of my mentors, Patricia Lee Jones from Healing Adventures, and you can check out the link to that radio show down below my YouTube page if you want to listen to it. But this has come out really recently. There are people that you will meet, maybe you're one of them, and that's okay, that seem spiritual. I talked about, this guy that I dated very briefly, and I really thought, wow, he's really cool. He's what I was looking for. This is way before James, of course, over 10 years ago. But I said, this guy's so cool. He meditates like 2 hours a day, and he seems so spiritual. And I thought, well, gee, I don't even meditate 10 minutes a day, And we got into these deep talks. I thought that was really cool. But when it really came down to it, getting down to the intimate levels of personal one-on-one connection, as soon as it got really close, it got scary, and he took off. I was like, what the heck happened here? I thought things were going well. But you know what? He looked like he was spiritual, but I didn't look at the signs, so that was my spiritual mask as well. The signs were there. He hadn't had a long-term relationship for more than a year. And so it was a great learning experience, because when I did meet James and when we started dating and going out, I really paid attention to some of those markers. And, James had been with his, wife for, over 9 years. He had worked 2 jobs at one point to support them. And I thought, here's someone who's willing to work for their love, for their relationship, not someone who's going to run away when things get a little too intimate or, too difficult. And that's exactly what it's turned out to be. So James is in it for the long run, and I totally appreciate him. And if I didn't have that experience with that other person, I would have known. But you will see and know people who go to, I don't know, a bunch of drum circles, who may meditate every day, who go to yoga every day, they, juice, they do raw foods, all these things that in the New Age movement seems really spiritual. They may pass all sorts of spiritual websites, and links on their Facebook page. I'm just giving you examples randomly here. And it looks really cool. Like, wow, these guys are really spiritual. But how do you know if someone's really on their spiritual path? Really on the true spiritual path? Well, no one can know for sure, but in my experience, it is those who are willing to do the tough work that are the ones that are being truly spiritual. And what do I mean by the tough work? I don't mean necessarily, fighting it out, slogging, battling other people and necessarily marching against something. No. I mean, that may be part of it for some people, but so much of the work is internal. It's internal. It's unseen. It's not what other people see. It's not about, how many retreats did you go to, or I don't know, how many books you've read. It's really about what you, not just what you say, but what you do and who you are in that process. So if you're someone who does all the outer spiritual things that look spiritual, but you're not getting up in the morning and going to work and you're late for work all the time, you're not honoring and respecting someone else's agenda, someone else's trust in you, and that is a real big red flag that the spiritual work is internal, that there's something that is calling, like you need to do something. Or if you are not respecting someone else's property, or if you're doing a lot of drugs and thinking that is spiritual, I'm sorry, most people, 99%, are not going to be able to handle the drug in the way it was meant to be, even if it was a spiritual drug. They're not grounded enough. And how do you know? So if you are having difficulty paying your bills, you're having relationship conflicts left, right, and center with family or friends, if you don't have a job, or you quit your job, or you keep moving every 2 months to somewhere else, okay, you're not grounded. So guess what? That's your spiritual work. Your spiritual will may be just, I'm going to commit to drinking 8 ounces of water a day for a week. And you're thinking, why is that spiritual? It might be spiritual because that's hard for you, because you haven't been that disciplined, because that amount of discipline for someone might be easy, but for you might be really hard. It might be, getting off Facebook and not doing Facebook for a week and really going for the goals that you say you really want to go for instead of wasting your time. Maybe it's, going to bed at a decent time and getting enough sleep because you honor and love your physical body, and that's your way of proving to yourself and your mind and your spirit and your soul that, hey, I really do love myself. And spirit will meet you halfway. That is the wonderful, wonderful thing of the world. And there's no judgment in any of this, but it's like, you do your spiritual work, which sometimes is so simple. It could literally be, I'm going to commit to going to bed, and having 8 hours of sleep, or drinking 8 ounces of water, whatever, every single day. Or I'm going to appreciate my friends or my parents or my loved one and say that appreciation, at least once a day. That could be your spiritual commitment. And you know what? The universe goes, wow, this person really means it. They really mean what they say. And therefore, we see that strengthen, that path strengthening, and we're helping out here. But you have to do half the work. So it's not about how many, yoga classes you go to, or how many connections you have online with, I don't know, spiritual people looking to raise their vibe. It really isn't that. It's the everyday everyday, mundane stuff that really belays whether or not you are truly on your spiritual path and journey, or whether you're kind of being a phony. And again, I'm not using that word judgmentally in that way it sounds like it, but I'm just trying to get the point across that sometimes you just got to realize, like, oh my God, I have been being phony. Crap. Okay. So now what? Now what can I do to get grounded? And Spirit will love to rush in to give you lots of intuitive hits, and then we'll bring you the right people and teachers and all that kind of stuff once you say, you want help, but then do you listen? So that's your other piece, is being able to listen. So that's what I want to share with you this week, and I bless you on your spiritual journey. There's lots of interesting stuff still coming up. People still having some issues with old symptoms coming up. We are having some, I don't know if I call them interferences, but definitely some stuff from future lives that are wanting to heal. Unfortunately, my intention to help integrate the new ascension energies instantaneously, there were more complex issues, so that is not a one-time thing. Now it's better. People are integrating the ascension with much greater ease, but there's certain aspects that still need individualized healing, and I was not able to have that hold with the last couple, the last one or two ascensions. It's not 100%. There are still areas that are only integrating maybe 70% for a person. But I will keep working on it for you, for me, for Mother Earth, for all of us. And I'll keep you posted. Love you all. Take care and have a wonderful week. Bye for now.